And I am live. Yay. I apologize. I'm a little bit late. I'm about 10 minutes late to this live, but it's one of those days that I am honoring myself to move a little slower, a little gentler in pace. For we tend to travel quite quickly on these planes and many. And maybe that's the first teachable today is to slow down. If you've received that message, um, that does help. That does help you in building and fostering your capacity to explore many realms of consciousness in a grounded and more capable state. And why would that be important? Well, because you want to remember. You want to remember where you travel, right? You want to actually obtain information from where you go or where you are or what you have asked. And so I am excited. I am excited to connect with you all today on Friday, March 31st, for what has come through to discuss. Much has come through. I actually kind of have an itinerary now for these educational chats. So I will first welcome you to this fireside chat on this Friday. My name is Josi. Josi, nice to meet you. If I haven't connected with you before, and if I have worked with you, hello again. Yay, get comfy, get something to drink, something to hydrate yourself. You're welcome to take notes if you're a note taker at times. You're welcome to doodle and get creative in how your body and mind start to take in some of this information today. For information and data or wisdom, right? And I have to say, a lot of those who have taught me in the spirit realms of traveling in the etheric realms of consciousness tend to kind of slash hyphen them, right? So they're like, okay, however you want to define it, it could be information, it could be data, it could be wisdom. It's all the same. So if I use those words at time, I will let you just understand that I may use those words interchangeably within this chat. And they mean the same thing in those realms. It is information that we are seeking, that allows us at times to expand our consciousness, to expand our capacity of presence through many practices, be it daily or on a more of a consistent basis, to support our energy body, to support the flow of connection through our human form, and how that then can over time get you to feel like you are a more skilled translator of those energetic realms and those experiences, to be felt, to be witnessed, and to be received, to share with you more, not so that you can escape this realm. Okay. I want to be very clear, right, kind of at the get-go of this chat, that I am not, life and life in this society and this world and this planet as we know it. Yes, I know it. Sometimes it's a pretty like big shit show at times, and really asks for us, if we are not in the privileged group of people that have all the access to things in the society that you are in, and even at times at that time there's still something feeling like there's missing, and you kind of are going, well, then maybe I will just miss out or skip out or jump out on this human experience. So I want to be very clear that my years and lifetimes of study of these realms are not here to affirm that notion. This is not a realm that we have been asked to skip out. This is a realm that we asked to step into. And there are wondrous, wondrous abilities in our human body that support travels throughout these realms. So overall, the intention in accessing this data, this wisdom, and these informations from different spaces and time, different experiences of life, be it past, future, be it different lifetimes of your soul, be it different times of your and the stories of your peoples, of your bloodlines and ancestors. These are here to be shared and experienced to support you in the time that is now, the time that is here and now. You are the one walking on this plane. You are the one gifted with body. You are the one gifted to be in form, to be breathing and living with heart beating. The capacity to move with all of this wondrous spiritual support and energetic support for your system. So, this workings, first and foremost, is not for you to step out of the human experience, but to embody and to step further in to the human experience with the capacity and the know-how and the knowledge that you can mend, release, extricate, dispel, dissolute, expand, all the things. Yeah. You can heal, you can grow, you can, yes, you can travel, you can breathe, you can be. And if those things bring up shit already, then welcome. This may be a good chat for you. And let's take a moment. Let's take a moment to, that was a kind of a fiery intro. Hence the name, I guess, of these fireside chats and why they are on the day of fire, the day of FYRE, Fira, and the day that is in major communication. And know if I slow down in my speech, it's because there are many already speaking with me, and some of them are not in. Oh, they say hello on even this plane. Many are speaking with me, and not all of them are speaking in English, right? So it's like it's taking me a moment to enjoy some of even the translation. I thank you and I welcome you, ancestors. I thank you and welcome and connect with you, ancestors in spirit, on this day. My dog Paco welcomes you, and I'm grateful to be in connection with all of you, be it that you step in live, be it that you step in on replay. It don't matter, because energy travels beyond time and space. So as soon as you step in and listen and open your ears and breathe and be and welcome in this connection, be it on whatever daytime or place in this earth it is that we connect, trust that we are connecting. Mm. Mm. All right. Whew. And because there is such a good group that has stepped in to speak of harmonic akashics, trust that at times I may speak and look at you, and at other times I may close my eyes to just support in some of the further translations. Because some of the sounds, some of the information received from spirit and through the akasha come at different speeds. And so hence why this incessant speed of or choice of speeding things up in capitalism, or in the urgency given to us by our society at large, is almost the antithesis to allowing you to further actually connect, and without potentially disassociating. And why they share it like that is, think that the speed of how your mind might be going on a regular day, right? From the vibrations and the beeps and the pings, right? To the text messages, to the times when you might be like getting information from the different platforms you might be going on, or the different apps, to the amount of emails you might respond to the amount of phone calls that you might connect to. Do you see what I mean? Like there's just like this constant, right? And just think that if life and if your daily movements are moving at that type of pace, okay, the ability then to actually listen has been inhibited, to actually receive. Because, and this is kind of what they share in a bit of glibness. There was one Harmonic Akashix response received. I've been doing some for the collective that are on my SoundCloud, available on my Linktree, and I can share some, all my links below for you to access and peruse at your leisure. For know that these free videos that I offer here on YouTube are for further free education, as well as meditative practices and practices of presence to build your capacity so that you can explore these realms yourself. I am not part of, let's say, the club that says to keep everything only accessible, and kind of like purport or like laud and honor only if you are an expert at something. Everyone can become an expert at navigating consciousness. Do you see? It's not something to kind of be like, I am better than in as well. And this is something that kind of has moved forward, that I found as soon as I went online with my work in some of these spiritual communities, is like this idea that the more you know, then like the better you are. And this kind of energy that was already feeding and flaming or firing up the flames of ego, because you have a stronger intuition than someone, or you can sense or feel more. And so just know that with my work, and why I only share mentoring now as an apprentice, is to know that you, yes, might step in for support, but I am not like the master for you to follow. We are stepping in both with humility, both with the honoring of studentship, to understand that we do not need to know it all. And even the most proficient channelers, oracles, mediums, and all the peeps that connect with spirit, and how they share this, are not actually given all the omniscient information, even if they think they are, or like that they have it all, right? That I know everything. It's like, that's actually kind of like the safety. They said it's like, spirits like, we've been seeing and witnessing the human experience for a pretty long time now, over multiple eons. We kind of know some of the fallibilities, of the human experience by this point. And we've explored the way of how people have like stepped into prophet mode, or like that I am the one that knows, and why aren't you listening to me? And what they have shared to me about that, in my studies with them, is simply to realize that like they've kind of seen that happen in many people's even past lives, that they discuss that they've been doing, holding sacred keys and big great things. And so it is not then for you to like replay that same tape in this lifetime. The things that we access from previous lifetimes are here to share us of potentially the karmic or cycles, or in different words, if you're not familiar with that one, it's like the patternings of old agreements, old fuckery on this plane that you have agreed to rectify and to shift within this lifetime here on earth. And some might not even have agreed to rectify things in this lifetime. And so they may naturally just be moving through this life with different agreements and needs. So hence why then do you see it's like to go, what do you know, or how much I know about all these different spiritual realms, is not something that is needed to be shouted on a mountaintop to the entire world anymore, because there's a realization that not all people may have agreed to explore those realms, or even to access all of their memories in this lifetime and this time that is here and now. Whew. Yeah. Paco's a good guardian to support at times when I might get excited and wish to even share more. And then he's like, this is a public realm, Jos. And there is so much that of information that can be accessible publicly, not because it's like I'm again secreting it away. It's just there needs to be an agreement. There needs to be a further honoring agreement between us and ours, to ensure that it will support you and not mess with you. Because information, data, and wisdom, well, have you ever been read before and not wanted a reading? Right? Do you feel how much that kind of like riles things up at times, and could potentially be a good reflective, right? This is the wild thing. Could be a good reflective, support you in moving into some shadows that are needed, or simply could just be that you are receiving an annoying ego response from someone else that chose to kind of step in and go, I know more of you or about you than you. And so from someone that kind of listens and naturally receives a lot of information from beings in presence and in connection, trust that there is a lot that is asked to be withheld to support your free will, to support your choices being enacted by you, and to honor how you then, right? Like that, it's spirit and you that are working in tandem together. It is not that they are here to go, this is what you must do with this information, right? This is what you must do with this experience, which is a bit of, I think, a ripple effect from spiritual practices that were a bit more authoritarian in nature on this plane or in history, in lineages that were there to kind of keep and maintain more than order. More than order. That's just all I can share. Okay. So, any questions with Harmonic Akashix? Why do I first call it that? And this is not for me to announce a new certification for you to all shell out dollars to get trained in, so that then you can be a Harmonic Akashix teacher. This is a bit of my to Akashic record certifications. Because akasha is, before it was termed as an adjective, akasha has a very long history in many cosmological, as well as philosophical, as well as religions worldwide. Okay. And there is a power in sound. There is a power in that word, right? That there's a world in that word, more than one world in that word. There are realms. And what I have shared on my website on on the page that discusses on Harmonic Akashix, even just some really simple first definitions that you can experience that literally came from like the free Wikipedia. I wanted to keep it simple type of idea, right? I was like, if this is the simple information that is out there, like, here, look at it. Like, akasha has been spoken about in Hinduism and Jainism and Buddhism way, way, way before it became a term of Akashic records. I am not then devaluing the term Akashic records. Do you see? There's a lot of both and please, these educational things are never to say that one thing is correct or one way is correct. This is something that we are almost burning down by this point in human practices, is to acknowledge and to allow multiple truths to exist. And we can go further in that if interested. But the first thing is to kind of explain Harmonic Akashix is the way that when I was first asked by my spirit council to further study, because they know I'm a student at heart. I love to learn. So they're like, go and study up all you can about this term and how it's being used, please. And enjoy the process, and then come to me with some of your questions, and we can do some kind of Q&As, some ask question and response systems. They even, like, because they do know I'm a bit of a rebel around religion, so they had a bit of a laugh when they were like, I think they gave me a term like, we can do stuff like catechisms. And I was like, what the F is that? And then I had to, like, of course, look it up and realized it was like this religious, like, question and answer experience that, like, someone would have with spirit or the divine. And I was like, oh gosh, you guys, you all are just sometimes too much, making me laugh on multiple planes. They know they know me quite well. So Harmonic Akashix is not a new certification. It is a way for you to slowly build your presence capacity, to learn how to do that, and trust the practices that you have been guided, so to speak, to, or that have felt right for you in your body and in your lifetime, to practice to support your capacity to be here, to breathe, to be present and capable and aware of what you may be witnessing and experiencing in the flux and the flow that is the present moment. And so in that awareness, then it's then not necessarily having to think that, like, there is this little library in the sky that you go fly to in your meditations, and then like access books, and you're like, okay, so it says on page 2500 this is exactly what I'm meant to do in my life, and so now I'm going to follow this word, right? I'm going to follow that, or I'm going to, okay, it gave me this reminder of a lifetime when I was a knight and I was killed in battle. So this is my time to only rectify that lifetime, and to kind of take it more literal, or what really is neat at times when we explore what is carried in akasha, in space, in ether, in sound. Okay, so just know that as if you study the cosmological backgrounds of the word akasha, that those are kind of simultaneous again. So just as I shared that info, data, wisdom, I might utilize these three words simultaneous and meaning somewhat of the same thing. Likewise, these three words, space, ethers, or fluid, these kind of fluid realms, these ethereal realms of the fifth element that we've also kind of described it as, or sound, because there is these are realms that are carried in sound, which as it naturally then shares, then seeing these realms, exploring these realms is a different experience. It's the idea of seeing, so to speak, is much more of a multisensory experience. And let me just write some notes down to make sure I don't get too sidetracked, because I'm flowing a lot. So with Harmonic Akashix, now that you know, this is simply a way for you to learn how to harmoniously travel through these realms of consciousness to access further data that can support you in the here and now, in the body that you're in the lifetime that you're in. It is not here as an escapist tool. It is a tool for you to actually learn more of potentially some of the forgotten lineage, the forgotten lines, or the forgotten realms and aspects or information and wisdom of your soul. So it might not even just be your bloodlines, your ancestry history. It's also then the story of your soul and how many times it has experienced these planes of the human experience. So there's a lot of information then, as you see, that can be discovered and explored. And so to move through these realms, it's important to know that there's a responsibility to and I will explore that and explain that a little bit more. And that the idea of seeing or hearing and receiving information is, as I said, more of a multisensory experience. So meaning that what is felt, the emotions, the energy that is in motion within you, the flow of your own internal waters, so to speak, really do support you in receiving information on money planes. So then you're like, so if I'm coming in, back to kind of the beginning of this chat, it's like, if I'm coming in irritated from like an intense day of like, like writing emails and making calls and doing all these things, and being as busy and I'm being efficient and I'm rocking this plane of like speed that they're asking me to do and capitalism, right? Then of course, like your actual energy that is flowing in you has kind of like the ability or the capacity for you to feel anything other than that rush of physical exertion, mental exertion. It has actually is the thing that is limiting you from receiving much more data that can be beneficial um, and helpful from these planes. So back to know that if you are new to etheric travels or exploring akasha, or if you have tried to read your akashic records, so to speak, in the past and haven't really received much or don't remember much of your experience, it is simply going, rest, slow down. Give yourself space to breathe. See what is keeping you in the frequency or the frenetic energy of need, and see if there how can you, yes, we could say enter in with humility, but there is also entering as child, entering in that reminder of wonder, the curiosity of learning, of exploring, of entering in with joy, with love, which changes. Do you see? It's like even in the language and how I share of that, there's a difference. And that really opens up a lot larger of a compendium, a lot larger of a group of information to access. For then you can travel with grace, a bit lighter in pace and step. And what I mean by that is that think that, and this is kind of how Spirit has taught me about these realms, is that think that they're kind of accordion like. Okay. So if you've ever seen an accordion play and there's like they're going to make a different noise when they're expanded and a different noise when they're drawn in. And then there's different like buttons, I think, to press to create different tones, you know? So like think that every single breath, as you with the intent move into these realms where all this data and wisdom is moving and has been stored. It's just so beautiful to think of that, right? There's just all this information here for us to receive and open to and witness and breathe with. Think of that. Yeah. Instead of us going, I need to get this information now, I'm going to like text, Akasha and be like, hey, can you please give me the information on this now? And then you're going to see like this like rack, and then out comes like the correct, you know what I mean? Like the Dewey Decimal System of libraries, like in the sky. And then all of a sudden you're just going like, okay, oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay, now I can go back to what I was doing. I got the information I needed. Boom, 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 boom. More so is when you step in to see first, prior to you stepping in, if you can process that initial urgency. A lot of times prior to me stepping in for my personal asks, right? A little bit less when I'm doing collective, because I have just a natural level of curiosity and a love of learning. So I'm very open to exploring what might be a larger message for me as well as others, right? But when it comes, I understand when you have a personal ask, it usually comes from some type of discomfort or need or desire, right? To either just know something or to maybe tackle some of those really big questions, like what's my background, or I feel a connection to this, or I feel an innate rage or sense of sadness when I come across this piece of information out there. and I'm wondering why, like they can fill in a lot of the blanks. So what I tend to do prior to stepping into personal information connection, informative connection in those realms is like go for a walk, breathe it out, let yourself connect to some trees, some plants, in some way, connect to the earth, connect to just the wonder that are the four elements that support the fifth. To see how you can support that larger flow so it doesn't feel that you're just stepping into space, that you're just stepping into the ethers without acknowledging and honoring earth, air, water, fire. That can be maybe the first understanding of how to be responsible in our travels. For they shared in that recent Harmonic Akashix that there's so many that are stepping into these workings because you have all been doing such great work on expanding consciousness, expanding your capacity to feel and to sense and to tap into your innate natural gifts of intuition and sensory abilities. But then you step into these realms still going on a need to know basis without deep reverence for how space and the realm itself has cared for this wisdom. And so as you honor your body, our earth, then that allows you to step into the realms of space with that same honor, love, and care as you would your own body or our earth. And so then with that, on top of then sensing, you can almost allow the need to see, the need to receive information to soften, because it's actually the straining or like the constraint of the sight that they share, because that's actually restraining or contracting your capacity. When you're like how can I see? You're trying to like look for things or try to like hear things or that type of energy. Sometimes when you strain, that may limit you in actually seeing and receiving information. So as you enjoy slowing down breath, slowing down pace, and honoring that each breath, each pace or the gentle pace of your travel with body on earth in space becomes that wondrous harmonium of sound, or accordion, like this equilibrium of sound that then becomes quite symphonic and supportive in honoring the wisdom that is stored there without creating more ripples and extractions, so to speak, of data that almost feel energetically like, if you're looking at how people extract minerals and diamonds or very like valuable things from the earth itself, and how that is they're seeing and then realizing, oh, we've been extracting too many things, right? This is messing with the flux and the flow of things. That's kind of like what's occurring on these other planes. So if you are in the midst of doing any decolonizing work on the planes of body and earth, in our mind and our heart, then there is a grace to bring that forwards in your travels in consciousness, and honoring that these realms of space have been extracted and messed with for each pace and step that we take, or each thing that we do in those planes creates ripples. Create ripples, 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 ripples. Feel as almost if you've ever seen those cool kind of holographic things that they do now with computers. I'm just almost getting that visual of, like, you know, when they show like how a body can move like this, and then you're seeing them kind of like all these visuals of like this body moving through space and how it's communicating with space. Think of space as a fluid that might be even similar to your sensation of water, right? So then even think of then, like, if you were doing that in a pool or in the ocean, in a lake, of how, right? Like that movement of your hand through water, as graceful as it may be, right, is moving and creating rhythms and ripples of motion through that water. It might be easier to see that in that way. And so that is somewhat what is occurring in the fluids of the ethers when we travel. So may your travels be harmonious. May you step there with grace and honor to protect the wisdom, and to receive with care, with love and care, and honor for all that is stored there, and to see how you can gently traverse these planes, and at any time you're welcome to step further in and ask me connections to travel with you. I do enjoy being the pilot. I do have a Sacred Travelers Club that opens every season. And we travel on full moon dates as well as equinox solstice. So please, you're welcome to share any queries of Harmonic Akashix. There is definite kind of intentional sound. Now it's neat because, like, Akashic records have shared when I've studied them, that there's like opening prayers and closing prayers, and yes, there's all truths in these things. But just know that these opening prayers do not have to be to other people's deities or belief systems. They can honor yours. And so if you're ever so guided to explore these realms on your own, simply just contact me via email, and I'm happy to share of an opening. I always laugh. They spirit, because they know sometimes, like, they're like, yes, it could be a prayer, it could be an incantation. Is because it's from the background of incantare. It's like this song. There's this ability to share your sound of reverence and gratitude for this gift that we have to traverse these realms. So if you wish for that, just email me, and I'll send you a document of one that is a bit has a bit clearer tonality and honor of multiple backgrounds and difference of us who travel these realms, and may not need to then continue to feel like you are being subservient to someone's idea of religion or things like that. I don't know, of what I've seen in some of these prayers. So yes, welcome to Ask Me for that, and go and travel on your own. And if you need some support in traveling, I am here. But this is not just a advertisement. As you see, this is some free education. So what I would like to finalize this hour or this time, I know it's an ish. On top of explaining this kind of awareness of being a responsible traveler, and now that how like every pace and movement and breath and energetic emotion, right? Energy and motion. So any type of energetic flow that you have while you're traveling, be it more on the egoic realm, I know, or like on the victim realm of like of need, and anxiety or uncertainty, fear. These can definitely shift potentially how you receive the information and how you see it, actually. So what I would share is the ask. The ask is quite important. I have shared a bit on how to prepare yourself for response, and on other, I think, an IG live or things like that. And so I'm guided to really focus on the ask here and now. For who am I? What am I meant to do? Sometimes we step into these realms with really big questions. Trust that the larger the question, the more travels you may need to do, right? The more experiences might need to be understood and remembered and explored over time. A who am I question could be like a year's worth of work. Because each time we step in and receive information, that information disperses and dispels and assimilates and integrates into our body and into our energetic makeup to support things to shift, to support shadows to flow and clear and potentially be looked at within, as well as then more insight and desire and choices to shift potential boundaries, statements, verbal agreements, ways of communicating on this plane. So I am not saying to not say them, right? It's just know that if you're stepping in with really big questions, to step in with the curiosity of like, what will I receive of that today? And instead of like, this is the be all end all of the answer. Because we have this idea, and they even share this with me shifting. It's not a question and answer, right? It's not like this mathematical equation. You go like, what's 1 + 1? And they're like 2. And that's the only response out there. And the only answer, as you said, there's multiple truths, there's multiple information. So hence why this awareness, instead that you step in with an ask, and then you receive and you open to receive a response. And in that response, there's information, data, and wisdom to support you in further unpacking all the things that are around that ask, that are within your body, held within your actual carriage and makeup, to that as they kind of dispel and disperse and clear, even just through breath and pee and like the regular functions, right, of us. And over time, also with rest and nourishment and all the things, right, that are just normal human experiences. human bodily experiences, is that that will then actually initiate immense, wondrous, like not even initiate. Sorry, they're saying, watch my choice of words here. Um, allow for and like a real change. Allow for real change that you can actually like look at, experience, witness, and be in, be in real change in your life, to see new patternings occur. It's so exciting. Transformation. Yay. It's like, yes, I don't have to be the thing that I even agreed to be yesterday. I don't have to follow anything that was before now. I can rectify, redact, reenact, revolve all the re's. I can go again, do over, revolve, right? Is like move a different way. You're turning the lock in a different way. You're turning the information a different way with more insight, with more perspective, with more awareness, with more story. So the ask, sure, go big if you wish, or you can get really specific as well. And um, and specifics will give you kind of really specific responses to support that specific. As well, then, okay, so now you're like, okay, I can be specific, I can be big. And then also they'll realize that like language in itself, and I shared this in one of my first educational sessions, is that I've had to work, like I think I've been working with stripping energetically the excess that sometimes we put into our speech and our language, to try to, I don't know, like I felt energetically this really came through maybe when I was about like in my 20s. I'm aging myself now, but early 20s, okay, and I'm now in my mid 40s. Uh, you know, in when I was working in and connecting specifically more in the yoga industry, and that there'd be like 50,000 different ways to like share things that became like really long and drawn out, like, may the grace of the, I think of like, just like, I keep on story whenever I try to go back to that language, I just like get like a memory of like Shira, Princess of Power, and like, may the power of Grayskull explore and honor and sprinkle down amongst all of us breathing, exploratory, sensory being, like it's just like excess, right? Excess words. Um, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Okay. Because the more that you kind of convolute the actual ask, the more that you are actually not trusting or the truth of what you're open to receive. And so that energy that is shared in all those 15,000 different words of your ask, um, kind of like are all, just think, like as I said, like those points of movement in the ethers and the fluids. It's then you're like, and I'm just seeing it almost like okay, so if you had a very clear ask, right? You're like, do 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 do, right? So then it's like, okay, you then move along that line of sound, right? That you just shared. Like, um, what do I need to know about me and the economy or finances, right? Something clear. What do I need to know of that will support me in accessing prosperity in this lifetime? Do you see, like, clear, then you're able to flow along those worlds and the data shared in those words, um, that will support you in your ask. But if you're like, I want to explore the blah blah blah, like that's literally how it comes out energetically, all of those words. And so then it's like, so that you're kind of like just doing this like weird kind of like movement in the ethers of like, which is like really cool. Like you're doing a really fun dance, but just think of how would you be able to gather actual information in that state? How would you actually be able to receive clear data in that state? And so then you're like, oh, I see colors. I received this sensation. Oh, I saw this person a bit. I saw this a bit, and there's fractals or fractalized experiences, which are beautiful. Trust that anytime you explore Akasha, there will be healing. There is wondrous healing to be experienced in these realms. But it just might be a slower pace of retrieving actual information, data, and wisdom. So with that being shared, enjoy see what asks come. And for those that, yes, back to, you're like, well, I don't experience. Well, practice just like meditation. Just, this is meditation just on multiple planes. The same practices of mind and breath awareness and allowing yourself to find your plumb line and your presence point, your to honor the things that might flux and flow, the thoughts and the emotions that might want to take you on journeys, right? And think of that as like the emotion of maybe fear, right? It's going to want to take you maybe on a journey, like, I'm freaking out right now. I'm seeing something I don't know if I like. And so, or a thought will come and be like, what the fuck? Why am I getting this? Right? There's those types of, so the thought and emotion, just like in a meditation, will try to take you on certain journeys, away from the experience of the wisdom and the information. And so practice with some humility, some grace, and in the knowing that we do not need to be all knowing. We do not need to be all knowing to become better humans, to feel more joy and strength and capacity in our bodies, to say no's that can actually support real shifts in our life, and to grow more space within our body for further joy and peace. So with that being shared, I am, there might be more chats to come on this, for it is something that I have been studying, of course, and opening to for lifetimes, as I've shared. And it has been a wondrous honor to share this video of it, or of some bits that I can within a smaller period of time. And I look forward to connecting with those whom so choose to connect for support in those realms. I do share private services to support, be it just a recorded response, support with the ask and response live, as well as travel experiences as pilot. But know you are the co-pilot. Know that you carry gifts. Know that you carry the innate capacity, the capability or the abilities of being human, and that's all that is required to access these realms of consciousness. And so practice, keep it simple, honor the other elements, honor a connection to a larger realm of awareness that can support our lives and our communities to step further out of some of these systems that don't allow all life to exist. Hmm. Whew. And for fun, to close, I have Denise Lynn Sacred Traveler Oracle cards to honor our travels. Just to see if there's a message for you all who have tuned in and made it to the end today. Oh, okay. Oh, well, ain't this fun? Begin now. Take your first step. I love it. I love it. Yes, like there's so much to be explored in these realms, right? There's not going to be any type of course or certification or training that could prepare you for all that is to be experienced over time immemorial. So simply practice. Find yourself, yes, at times maybe some teachers and some helpers to affirm and who are more so like just experienced travelers of consciousness and multi dimensions, so that then you can. It's more so than to have an affirmation and for them to assist you in um, bolstering your own memory so that you can then remember further of your gifts and the gifts that you carry. So begin and in that awareness and in that invitation, clearly they shared that it was cute, like this came out and then there was two more. Oh, bless. Okay. So that was the first invitation. If you wish to have a first step and you're like, I am capable of meditating. I am aware. I've been doing these practices. I breathe. I move. I've been doing lots of work on these planes of allowing myself to feel all the feelings, even the ones that don't feel so great, even the ones that feel icky, and understanding that they're great teachers as well. Then just email me and I'll happily give you like that opening incantation and go and explore. Go and just honor that with some grace, that you do not need to feel like you have to take anything out of these planes and bring them back with you and pocket them for your own keep. We don't keep things of wisdom. We witness and experience them. We're like in it. We're in the wisdom in those planes, and then we then go gracias, thank you, beautiful, la la la, in all the languages. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I now step back into the realm that is my body, and you know, and earth, knowing that I am still in communication and connection with those, but do not need to be in that experience anymore. And I do not need to take it with me and pocket it. So they're just sharing a little additional thing with that is not the pocket, because what came up here is, yes, that there is a lot of protection in these planes, and there is a beautiful larger perspective to be had in these planes as well. Just seeing if there are any last messages before I close this connection today and what was being guided to be shared on the state for your travels and experiences in these realms. Okay. This is actually, they're simply just like, can we speak for a bit? And I haven't done that for a while. So, okay. So if you're willing to receive some communication to your soul, it would be, some people have described these languages as like speaking in tongues, speaking of light, like a light language, speaking of, all these different things. What I would just share is that my background is of multiple of sound. My gift is sound, and I have learned multiple languages, as well as my ancestors speak multiple languages, and some of these as well. My studies in Sanskrit and seed sounds. Many divine protectors and many aspects of the divine share seed sounds that will be initially understood and connected to by many, no matter what language you speak, because they are actually carried in multiple languages. That's kind of how they explain it. They're carried in multiple languages. So here is something for your soul. Mhm. Ke eta ache inte kuka sataretite chetaka. Atsa iti ike itse into ua ka atsa ika itin. Iche e kon tatseke e peta. And that uku itsi impa ka a. E ka a itin eko o a itse eche e ka ntu kuka. Ya a bon ko tse che chaka tse sapeta tinteko a. Impaka aka atsa impeko utsa chitaken. Kepa. They're saying take deep breaths by this point and allow yourself to find that kind of central place, kind of between the back of your skull and the back of your heart. Okay, just to breathe and become aware of that focal point. Atsa tu ko a tse ipu tutsu. Na ako tsintu ko ocha ako. Ye titse kepa utsukund uhaka. Ea ka kutsa utsu uku tsita icha ka. Iti eka utsu uko utsu uko aku chid. Ika unte itsu ako uti ita aku utsu. That was beautiful to receive. Thank you. I give deep gratitude for those of the realms of divine, those that protect and support our travels in the planes of our body, the realms of our body, of our earth, and our space. May you ground any sensation into those places. May you allow it to integrate and acclimate. And I am always open to comments or questions, forwards of any further chats. I will see you next week. Take care. Thank you.